Welcome back to another edition of Talking Ball. Today, we're talking Labaron Philon, the guard from Alabama. The freshman, he's 19 years old. He measured in at the combine here at 6'3", 175 pounds with a 6'6" wingspan. So if he stays as a point guard, he's got really good positional size. And if he's got to move more to being off the ball, he's got good enough size to play the 2 spot in the NBA. So let's talk about what he does well, areas where I think could be swing skills for Philon, and where I think he's going to end up going in the draft. Okay, so Labaron Philon is at his best going downhill. He's at his best in transition opportunities. He's really shifty. He's very athletic, and he has the ability to utilize his defense to create offense. I think those are the two areas where his strengths really shine. His ability to score in transition as an athletic guard, and his ability to defend, because he's a really good defensive player, especially on ball. He's very active. He's got good lateral quickness. He's able to anticipate and beat offensive players to the spot. And he's just like some guys, they just seem to have an innate feel for guarding on the ball defensively, and Philon certainly has that. Then I think offensively, we'll show the stats in a little bit here. He did get a little bit better as a shooter. That's going to be one of the swing skills, though, for sure, for Philon at the next level. And let's just talk about that. And please, if you haven't already, like this video. And if you enjoy our content here at Talking Ball, subscribe to the channel. So with Philon, I alluded to it earlier, whether he's going to stay at the point guard spot or the shooting guard spot. And I think a lot of that ultimately comes down to his shooting ability, whether he can stay on or off the ball. And I think some of this is a little bit intertwined, and maybe it may not even add up necessarily. And I'm going to explain why. So you look at a guy like Philon. He's at his best in transition. There's plenty of highlights where it'll show him knocking down the three, but he didn't necessarily shoot it at a great percentage. And his pull-up percentage was not as good as his catch-and-shoot percentage. So that means it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to stay as an on-the-ball guard, because teams are going to play drop coverage against him and force him to shoot longer jumpers. Now, do I think he could be able to do it over time? Possibly. That's why I say it's a swing skill for Philon. I don't know either way. I think it's going to be a big key for his development. If he's able to shoot them, he'll be able to have the ball in his hands more and be a facilitator, which I think he's shown some flashes of being a capable facilitator, about 3 assists per game for Philon. But if he's not able to shoot those pull-up jumpers, he's got to play more off the ball and become a more consistent catch-and-shoot guy to get consistent playing time. Now, also his defense, while I think it's one of his strengths, I do think there are times where off the ball defensively, he can lose his man. And that's frankly common with younger players, but it is something he's going to need to really improve upon, especially if he ends up being a guy who's playing more off the ball than on the ball. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be off the ball defensively, but it does mean that he's going to have different assignments, I think, because he's not necessarily going to be an on-the-ball scorer offensively, especially early in his career. And so he's going to have to take multiple defensive assignments. He's going to need to get better with his off-the-ball defense. So, statistically, as I mentioned before, Philon, about 10 points a game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 1.4 steals, really good. 45% from the field, 32% from 3, and about 55% from 2, those are all very solid numbers. The concerns for me, though, are when he got into conference play. He had some more difficult competition. The minutes were about the same. A few less starts, though, for sure. Numbers went down pretty much across the board, except his free throw shooting improved to 81%. And his three-point percentage ticked up slightly here, 33%, probably compared to about 30%, 29% in non-conference play. So the concern here is he got much worse as a two-point finisher. And I think that goes to show that when the game slowed down, he had to play in half court. He didn't have that finishing ability in the half court area. And that's important. Now, the game's going to be much more wide open in the NBA, especially during the regular season. He's going to have time to improve his half-court ability, but those are his swing skills. His half-court finishing, his pull-up jumper, and his off-ball defense. His off-ball defense. Those are the three things to watch out for with Philon moving forward. I think if he improves those things, this guy could be a very good player. If he doesn't, he's going to be like a fringe rotation kind of guy. Because it's just so essential that you're a good shooter. Even the spot up shooting would be the fourth one that he's got to really improve upon. Let me know what you guys think about Philon. Until next time, guys. Peace.